All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you, and we even got some Craig Wright news at the end, so stick around for that. Sousy drama as usual. However, we have more McAfee news. In fact, a couple new conspiracies, if you call them, and the one that's been going around, the main one, is that conspiracy theorists are claiming the Miami building that collapsed on Thursday housed a giant stash of data on government corruption collected by the late antivirus tycoon John McAfee. Fact checkers pouring scorn on the theory have not dampened the enthusiasm of internet sleuths who have been sharing online an alleged tweet by McAfee from June 8th claiming that he had 31 terabytes of files in a condo in the collapsed building. So a screenshot shared online to show the message from McAfee's Twitter account from June 8th, 2001, saying, "If anything ever happens to me, please know that the 31 terabytes of files I have are located on hard drives in my condo near 88th Street and Collins Avenue, just north of Miami Beach." And that is the building that collapsed several days ago, maybe upwards of a week ago now. Basically, half the building was in disarray, in decay, essentially. They sort of ignored the engineering aspects of it, the cracks and such, and literally half of the building just completely collapsed out of nowhere. Very unfortunate. Some people lost their lives. Some people may be still stuck in the rubble, which is awful. But this tweet appears that John McAfee is saying that his condo is that condo. However, John McAfee hasn't been in the United States for quite some time. Now, I don't really have enough research gathered up to when he was last in the United States, but the last time he was in the United States had to have been at least 5, 6, maybe even a decade ago. So having this condo seems unlikely to me because he was in Belize and got raided, and then he was basically on his yacht for some odd years until he landed in Spain and then was put in prison. So this is the picture of the collapsed condo. So basically half the building almost, it just completely fell. The building was kind of like a U shape, and the rest of it is just totally gone now. So the collapsed building, which 4 are dead, 159 unaccounted for, I think that the death toll is unfortunately higher now, was at 8777 Collins Avenue in Surfside, Florida, matching the location described in the purported McAfee tweet. So here's another tweet that kind of gives a little bit of validity to this. Somebody says, "There is zero evidence McAfee ever tweeted this," but adding a tiny bit of credibility is a tweet from 2 years ago when he mentions having 31 terabytes of files. "I've collected files on government corruption and governments. For the first time, I'm naming names and specifics. I'll begin with the corrupt CIA agent and 2 Bahamian officials coming today. If I'm arrested or disappear, 31 terabytes of incriminating data will be released to the press." And this was sort of part of my last video where supposedly he has a dead man switch, and then all of a sudden Whacked Token began a bunch of transactions and things like that. So people thought he had released some kind of dead man switch where if he were to die or disappear, that somebody somewhere would enable this smart contract. And it was on the Ropsten network where supposedly there was some information going out, although we haven't seen that yet at all. Another thing I got to say about this tweet is that I mentioned this tweet in a video, obviously years ago in 2019, a couple years back, and he never released any of this information. So it's important to know that John McAfee, while he was a very, very interesting person and probably felonious, he also sometimes was full of BS. Now, it's not for sure if he actually had this information or not. I can't really say, but either way, he never released this information. Was it because he got caught in Spain? But that wasn't for a couple years later. So he never actually released this information. So John McAfee is a weird cat. I don't think I find it less likely that he actually committed suicide in prison. Yet at the same time, there was a small chance that he did, and he just sort of wanted the world to think about him in a weird way, that he may have gotten whacked, because he has said a lot of things like this over the years, and nothing ever really came from it. John McAfee was just sort of like that. So, is the tweet real, particularly this one. If anything ever happens to me, my condo on 88th Street in Collins Avenue, which is the condo that just collapsed. That would be quite the conspiracy indeed, to collapse an entire building just to get rid of some data. And did he tweet this? Well, he did indeed tweet this. This is his Twitter. The U.S. believes I have hidden crypto. I wish I did, but it dissolved through the hands of many McAfee teams. Let's see. It was June 9th that he tweeted that. So June 9th, we can go to June 9th and find that exact one. So I discussed my last tweet. Let's see. So I don't know. Maybe that one did get deleted. I've collected files on government. Oh, that was actually in 2019. Okay, so I do remember that one. But the question is, did he tweet this one where he's talking about Collins Drive? So that doesn't seem to exist, because that tweet is dated, let's see, June 8th, 2021. So this is June 9th. June 8th, I have 1 million followers, but I'd be surprised if even 1% bother to read my tweets. And no, so that's not on there, but it could have been deleted. So let's check the way back. So June 10th, June 9th here. Again, it was supposed to be on June 8th. And there is no tweet about that specifically. Now, I don't know how often the Wayback Machine actually archives the internet or posts, etc., etc. But obviously no one did, or this did not archive it, or it either A, never existed, or B, it wasn't up long enough for it to ever get archived. However, I feel like there would be a lot more screenshots of it and a little bit more validity to it had he actually tweeted that. So my guess is that it was just made up by somebody for follows and tweets or something like that. So the reason why I'm saying, talking about this conspiracy of the abandoned building is because about 8 people on the last video I made about John McAfee and the Dead Man Switch commented this exact thing. And so I started to think, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I should look into it. And there's really not that much to look into. There are no records of him ever having a hotel there, or excuse me, a condo there. Could have been under a different name or something like that. So that's probably a job for some kind of other sleuth, although I figure the entirety of the internet would have probably been able to figure that out already. However, it's not on the Wayback Machine. It's not on his, so it was either deleted too fast or it just never existed. But moving on to some additional John McAfee news. Again, it just doesn't end. John McAfee's Hideout was a secret Bitcoin mining farm. So after John McAfee was reportedly found dead in his prison cell in Spain, reports have emerged that the antivirus tycoon's hideout place was a secret Bitcoin mining farm. The place was a semi-abandoned hotel in Cambridge called Deruta Park Hotel. A Pi publication reported Friday. My Spanish, not so good, so just go with it. Cabrils is a coastal town in the province of Tarragona, Catalonia, Spain. The hotel is dubbed a ghost hotel by the Spanish publication because reservations were pretty impossible to make as no one answered the phone, even when the hotel was still operational. That kind of seems like John McAfee's kind of place. The publication tried to contact the hotel about the McAfee story back in 2018, but to no avail. There are few reviews on the hotel on TripAdvisor and none after 2017. Most reviews found the hotel to be terrible. Quote, Deruta Park Hotel was bought by an unidentified Russian businessman. Authorities became suspicious of the hotel when a huge laser pointing at the sky was built on its roof. Right, I'll read that again. Authorities became suspicious when the hotel when a huge laser pointing at the sky was built on its roof. Again, this kind of seems like John McAfee's place. Why would you put a big laser on the hotel roof? Who knows? Probably John McAfee, because the reasons. The Catalan police raided the premises in 2018 and found a Bitcoin mining farm in the basement of the hotel that was operating 24/7. According to reports, the police lacked the authority to shut down the Bitcoin mining operation at the time, as cryptocurrency was an unregulated industry. The publication noted that it was unclear what happened to the mining farm. The hotel is now permanently closed. McAfee recently said that the feds suspected that he had some hidden cryptos, which he denied. McAfee never said he was at this hotel. However, a group of computer enthusiasts pieced together clues from images and comments he posted online using methodologies such as open source intelligence. When the cybersecurity mogul said he was hiding out near Belarus, several clues placed him in Spain instead. Some of the images he posted on social media included his photos on beaches and balconies, matching images on Google Maps of the Derudo Park Hotel. In March, during the coronavirus epidemic, McAfee shared photos of empty supermarkets where prices were in Catalan. And he was also spotted earlier with a bottle of Catalan Sumeraca Cava wine, Spanish Bezoya water bottles, and ATO ice cream, which was also made there. McAfee eventually admitted that he had been to Catalonia, where he visited Spain for a few days. However, the group believed that this hotel was his long-term base. He himself said that he often came to Catalonia since 2018 and 2019, and it seems that he was based in this hotel. And then later was arrested on October 3rd at the El Prat airport in Barcelona as he was planning to fly to Turkey. The next day, McAfee was admitted to Brian's 2 prison in Saint Esteve de Cesroveries. Yeah, got it. Just slow the video down. Trust me, it's perfect. It always is. After appearing before Spain's High Court, and then allegedly hung himself in prison. So the conspiracies just don't end. Although I guess this one isn't necessarily really a conspiracy, but it does seem like his kind of hotel. A hotel that literally nobody can call. A hotel that everybody hates and nobody goes to. And has a Bitcoin mining farm. And a giant laser on the roof pointed at the sky. Because reasons. Laser. Why not? Moving on here to some Craig Wright news. Self-crowned Bitcoin inventor wins lawsuit over white paper copyright claims. Oh boy, what did Craig Wright do now? You would think that of all places on the internet, you'd be able to read the Bitcoin white paper on bitcoin.org. For Brits, that won't be possible much longer. Dr. Craig Wright, the self-professed and much contested creator of Bitcoin today, won a case in the High Court to force the Bitcoin education site to remove the Bitcoin white paper from its website. It's the first success in a string of attempts to control who displays the Bitcoin white paper. In a remote hearing today, a judge said that Cobra, the pseudo-anonymous operator of Bitcoin.org, must display a notice on his website about the judgment, pay at least $48,600 in legal costs, and remove the white paper from his site. Cobra lost the case through a default judgment. He mounted no defense to preserve his pseudo-anonymity. Wright had claimed that Bitcoin.org infringed on his copyrights to the white paper, which he claims to have written under the moniker Satoshi Nakamoto. Wright's wider battle to prove that he is the progenitor of Bitcoin is still going through the courts, but has been widely rejected by the community. Yeah, you could say that's an understatement. Widely rejected. Yeah. The order hasn't been served yet, Cobra told Decrypt. Me continuing to host it after that will be breaking the law. He said a spokesperson for Ontaire LLP, the legal firm that advised Wright on the case, said that they did not know when the order would be served. Simon Cohen, a lawyer at Ontaire LLP, said in a statement, Dr. Wright does not wish to restrict with no T, access to his white paper. However, he does not agree that it should be used by supporters and developers of alternative assets, such as Bitcoin Core. Okay, so he basically doesn't want to restrict it, but he's going to restrict it. So, good job, Craig Wright. Bitcoin Core is more commonly known as Bitcoin. Title Wright believes should be assigned to his relatively unsuccessful fork of Bitcoin, Bitcoin SV, which stands for Satoshi's vision. Wright thinks that Bitcoin Core and offshoots like Bitcoin Cash misrepresent the vision for Bitcoin as he set out in his white paper. Right. Okay. So, I just don't get it. So if Craig Wright was Bitcoin, he could just take it back over from, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But, yeah. So, that's all for that. That's all I have for you guys. But moving on to CoinMarketCap, $1.4 trillion market cap. So we moved up significantly today. Many markets moving, or different cryptos moving upwards of 20%. ICP has a loss of something like upwards of 90% from its all-time high. So it's one of the biggest losers of the entire year. Internet Computer just basically popped into the top 10 at several $100s and then immediately went down to like something like $30. But it's moving back up pretty quickly, probably justify people investing in it when it was incredibly low, which I suppose at this point would be a good investment considering it was up like something like 20% today. But yeah, so the market's moving up pretty good, but we'll have to see how long that's going to last. We definitely need to stay above that 30,000 mark. There's a lot of support around 30,000. In my live streams, I show the TA on TradingView, etc. And every time we dip below 30,000, there's a strong support, and it just comes right back up within minutes, basically. But I fear that over time, if we keep dipping to 30,000 over and over and over, there's going to be no buyers eventually. The support is going to drain and will go down. So I think we're in an important time right now. If we go up, we'll be fine. I think if we stay at 30,000 for too long, we will not be fine. However, in the end, I believe Bitcoin, of course, will be a higher price in the future. But for now, we may end up in a bear market if it doesn't continue upwards from here. That combined with the 40% capital gains tax from Biden's not very good for stock markets, crypto in general, and also the 2023 Federal Reserve rate hike from the United States, not particularly good for investing either. But that isn't until 2023. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video. It helps me out a lot. My social media in the description below. Give me a follow on those. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.